Okay, remember, this is an electromagnetic system. This is a magnet. Each of you are this amazing magnet. So you have to realize that you're attracting whatever you're feeling. If you're upset, oh, the day is not going to go well. I mean, cut it off as fast as you can.
Welcome to Exploring the Mystical Side of Life with your host, Linda Lang.
Hi, this is Linda Lang from ThoughtChange.com. We are exploring the mystical side of life. Once again this week, if you enjoy our conversations, remember to subscribe, share with a friend. Today, we are talking about the world of energy and intuition. We have intuition coach and divine energy reader, Karoleen Fober, with us. Welcome, Karoleen.
Thank you so much, Linda. Happy to be here.
I'm really curious about the term a divine energy reader. Could you explain that a little bit for us?
Sure. I love calling myself a divine energy reader because we are all reading divine energy. We live in a divine energy system of electromagnetic energy. And so it just feels all encompassing for me. So when we're reading energy, there's lots of things you can be reading. You can be reading your own energy, other people's energy. I also read divine guidance from the spiritual realm that kind of covers everything, whether it's my angel or, what might come through. And then there's people's deceased loved ones that also come through, and they want to give messages of love and resolution and guidance. So I call everything divine energy reading, and the
So,
alignment as well, with our energy and how to maintain our health, those kinds of things. So I call that energetic alignment. And I do that as well as a divine energy reader.
so when you're talking about reading energy, it comes from receiving messages or intuitive guidance and also reading that person's energy system, like their aura, their chakras, their system.
Yes, absolutely. And I never know what it's going to be, but it's like you start getting little pieces of information. And sometimes I'll say, wow, I'm getting this, or I'm seeing something, or I even might hear a word. And so I share that. And then what happens, it seems like you are almost putting a puzzle together. You find a piece that fits, and then, oh, you see another piece, and you just keep putting pieces to the puzzle. And when you're listening to people's voice, I hear things that you might skip over, but it feels like, oh, that's a golden nugget. Let's dig a little on that. Seems like that's something that you're holding back from me. I feel like you want to tell me something. And so I love the breakthroughs that happen in a reading where we're just connecting, and it's almost like they feel safe enough to share, and they don't have to, but it's an opportunity to really have a breakthrough in your life for any area. Maybe you are trying to get over the grief of a loved one, and that message can be really life-giving. But it also might be something in your business that you feel stuck with, or you have a relationship that something's just not happening. So I love having breakthroughs in the readings.
You know, Caroline, it sounds like the way you work is very close to the way I work. It's a deep listening that's paying attention to the words, the information that comes through the spaces, the
Yes.
person's energy system, how it responds. I can't tell you how many times a client has told me something and their energy system is like screaming. They don't believe that at all. It's so
Right.
interesting.
Yes, and that's the beauty of this. People think sometimes with a reading that they're going to get a few messages. It sounds like we both don't work that way. It's like, oh, you're going to get transformation. You're going to get breakthroughs. I don't always know what they are. I mean, sometimes I might get a hint before it happens if I know who I'm going, if I've set up the appointment and their name, I have their name, and so it might come through. But it's a journey. And I've also noticed, see if you have noticed this too, not only is the information with breakthroughs, ahas, maybe growth, transformation happening, but I also tell people, okay, I'm getting something and it's coming over here in my right ear. So I kind of take them with me on what's happening. So I'm teaching. It somehow makes them feel more comfortable into their own abilities to read. And so many of the people that I do work with, their intuitive abilities start expanding. And that is the most exciting thing to me.
I totally agree. That happens for me too. It's like you're modeling how to tap into the intuition and pay attention that somehow their unconscious mind or their subconscious gets that message of how to do it as well.
Yes, exactly. And one of the things that sometimes happens is, like if I'm doing a group reading or something, I'm doing individual mini readings in a group. But today we have listeners out there. So there's a group of people that might be listening later. So the right people are going to start energetically coming toward you when this all lands. But I'm getting a message that's perfect today for down the road, whoever listens to this. Would you like to hear that?
Ah, so beautiful. Thank you so much, Karoleen. Yes, yes.
Okay. Well, it's about an understanding that you are this unique gift. Each person is unique and special. And sometimes we hold back. We hold back from who we really are and how we do life. And the specific message that I want to give all the listeners from this podcast, Linda, is that being authentic, being you at any moment is the greatest gift on how you live, because they calibrated energy. And authentic, we think, okay, well, we're goofy or we don't talk in complete sentences. Oh, we're just not good enough. Well, that's very far from the truth. So you being you, your best you, being that authentic person, start relaxing and just go with that. Start trusting the messages, start trusting your intuition, start trusting that who you really are is the highest frequency that you can live out. And that will open doors. It will bring things to you through manifesting. It's how you are in any single moment. And if you're relaxed and just being yourself and enjoying that, that's going to set you free. So that authentic energy that only you have is your best.
Such a beautiful message, Caroline. And yet, that's probably the thing that people struggle the most with because they're so busy comparing themselves to someone else or trying to fit into the expectations that other people have of them. What kind of tips do you have to really help people to, first of all, accept who they are and then embrace it and to live their true self fearlessly?
That's the perfect question. And that's why I wrote my book, Opening to Divine Intervention, because I I knew that I was being called to teach and to help people have that beautiful spiritual partnership that we all have access to. But sometimes we don't feel like we know how to do it. So I believe that most people, somewhere between the ages of 6 and 8, gave up this original language, the spiritual connection language, intuition, or whatever we want to call it. But we all have it. And it's great because we can access it. I came up with a 5-step system. It's called the ACUTE system, ACUTE. And it simply stands for, the first step is just accept. Oh, you're highly intuitive. You're a spiritual being in a body. The second thing is to claim it. It's one thing to say, oh yeah, I'm intuitive, but it's another thing to say, okay, I am, and I, am the master of my own energy, and I'm going to do this. And then the U is to utilize the tips, strategies, and frankly, understand how your energy affects everything. So utilization of how to do it is super important. And then the trust, once you start learning, oh, it's like once you got into your car and started learning how to drive, after a while, you don't think about driving, you're just driving. And it's the same thing with your intuition. But most people disconnect, when they're 6 to 8. But if you start reconnecting, learn the tips and strategies, and I'm going to give you my favorite one here in a second, but also enjoy it. You don't have to worry about being wrong. People ask me, well, I feel like I'm intuitive and I would love to do readings for myself or others, but they think, what if I'm wrong? And I go, well, divine energy doesn't really lie. So I used to feel the same way. I used to think, oh, I'd get nervous. Now it's like, I trust the divine energy system to give me what's happening. One of my favorite tips is the first thought rule. So if something's happening, you get an idea. Pay attention to that. Don't talk yourself out of it. You got a piece of information, that's a golden nugget. And so many people, they back out of it. And I say, no, first thought rule is really important. So I don't second guess. If I'm getting a message, my job is to deliver it, even if it's wacky, even if it doesn't make any sense to me. And you might be tested a couple times. I've been tested because I didn't think I could share. I couldn't tell that story. And then they start telling me information. I said, oh my God, I saw that. So I learned really quickly that the first thought is gold.
I think we can all relate to a time when we were maybe told or got the intuitive hit to take something with us or to do some particular thing, and we didn't do it in that moment. And down the line, we saw why we were given that impulse to do it.
And I had to learn a big lesson the hard way. I had a car accident, and the story's in my book, but I knew ahead of time. I was given that message, this guy is going to hit you. And I basically just said, oh, that's ridiculous. I'll slow up. I'll do this. It won't happen. Boom. Now, my guardian angels and my loved ones helped me and miraculously put my car so that I wouldn't be injured. I was not injured, but that car was, people looked at it and they said, is she dead? I mean, that's how bad that car looked. So that's a big example, but I think we can even use the little examples. Go right instead of left on your road. On your walk, go this way. Don't mess with it. And then if you start trusting some of these examples, oh, that partnership is now kind of bonded. And it feels like, oh, I know. It's like, how do I know that? I don't even mess around with how do I know it. I just know it. And you're going to start trusting yourself and then enjoying it. It's like, wow. And that's why I do what I do, because I want everybody to have the messages meant for them that are going to help them, guide them, protect them. Life is so much better when you start trusting and utilizing and leveraging your intuition. And the leveraging gets really interesting. And that's what I do with a lot of the work with clients, how to leverage having a better life through their intuition.
I think I would say too that it's a journey, right? It's not like a switch that comes on. So you might not fully accept who you are or how your message is, how your intuition comes. But the more that you play with it and step into it, the easier it gets and the more you receive.
Absolutely. Yes. And another tip is to remain as positive as you can, because that's a higher frequency. Remember, we talked about authentic. It's one of the highest frequency. I think they've calibrated to be 4 times higher than the frequency of love, which is almost unbelievable. But that's where science is catching up. I always say some people just, they're married to science. And I go, well, science is just catching up because this has been going on since the beginning of time. We're all connected, and this is our original language.
Karoleen, I'm curious, were you born this way? Like, were you born with the knowing that you were psychic or intuitive?
I didn't know it at the time. I didn't know those words. I don't even think I understood intuition or even heard intuition maybe until my 20s. But oh, I believe that, and I believe everyone is. We are divine beings. So how can we not be? And I have never had anyone that I've talked to where I say, because there's a lot of people say, oh, I'm just not. I say, well, don't you sometimes have dreams where maybe a loved one comes through and they go, yeah, yeah, I've had that. Or my mom came through. I said, exactly. And I said, don't you have times where you're thinking of somebody and you run into them or they call you? And almost everybody says, yes. I go, well, bingo. That's your proof. And instead of calling them coincidences and giving us that like non-believable definition, coincidence comes from the word coincide, which means to fit perfectly. So we have to really kind of wake up and really trust and practice. And the more you practice, it's like, I bet everybody that learned how to drive is a pretty good driver. Okay. In the beginning, okay, how do I coordinate the steering with the gas pedal? I mean, it's a little cumbersome, but I believe we are all given it. And then we have to go to school. We have to learn how to read. We have to learn math. We have to learn how to write. So there's a lot going on. And when we don't have it culturally always supported and talked about, then they lose the words, they lose oh, that was a great interaction. But I will tell you something. My grandma, my paternal grandmother, when I was like 5 or 6, one day we're just talking and she said, oh, Karoleen has the secret. And I was being literal. I said, oh, no, Grandma, because I was taught to be honest. I said, no, Grandma, I don't have any secret. And she knew that I was too young probably to get it all figured out at that point. But she looked at me like this, knowingly. She just nodded at me. And when we really go back through our lives, which that's something that the book does, it goes through my entire life. And I like to take the reader through it because you're going to start remembering some times in your life where something happened that was so unbelievable, magnificent, that you have to call it a miracle. You have to call it divine intervention. So the book is also almost reopening to your life of all those amazing experiences where you just can't explain how great something happened. And you probably knew it ahead of time if you were honest with yourself.
I think too that for anyone who doesn't think they're intuitive, if they consider that instinct is an aspect of intuition,
Oh,
we
definitely.
all have instinct.
Yes. And I think that's the confusion. I think our words, and the culture, we haven't had enough experiences as a kid to be supported in all that we're truly experiencing. So I think it's just huge that we talk about it. That's why I love your podcast. It's just really reminding people and educating them that, oh, you're intuitive. We live in a divine energy system, and it's it's easy and you know it, and to just go ahead and claim it and start enjoying it and then utilize it. And people say, well, what could I do with it? I said, well, anything you need to. I've hired people based on reading the energy. Who's going to be the best? They're all great, but who's going to be the best for the situation I'm looking for? Dating. I mean, you could say, is this going to be the best guy or gal for me? So every facet of your life, whether it's your business and career, whether it's, and certainly your health. I mean, there's no fun not feeling good. If you're not feeling good or you want to maintain your good health, intuition and learning more about it, that will be the best time you spent. So yeah, I can't say enough good things about it. It's everything. I always tell people in a fun way, I say, hey, why do I do what I do? Because it's the only game in town. It's the one activity that if you spend a little time focusing on it, it's going to give you the biggest rewards.
You mentioned energy alignments. Let's talk a little bit about that.
Okay. I mean, I had an example of one day, this is years ago, I was exercising and I heard heal Michael. Well, it stopped me. And I had a friend, Michael, that had been diagnosed with cancer. And I was like, okay, well, I would love to heal Michael, but I don't know how to heal Michael. So that began, I was in my, I'm going to say 30s when that happened. And I didn't really know what to do with that. It seemed a little daunting, but I didn't forget it. And he had been given about 10 years to live. And so somewhere in that fourth year, I was getting nervous, like, okay, if I'm really meant to help here, what do I do? And so I asked for help in a prayer. And I said, if I can help this situation, I'm going to need some help myself because I felt I just felt out of my league, but I was willing. And this was a friend of mine. So I thought, well, if I can, I would. And so a couple weeks later, I had a dream. And that dream instructed me to call this person up and sit down with them. And I said, and do what and say what? Nothing. I got nothing. But I learned at that time to trust. And so I basically set up the appointment, drove over there, sat down. And while we were talking, he had talked about a situation where he had the same problem as his dad did. And he started telling himself that he was going, well, it was inherited. Like, I'm just going to die from what my dad died from. Right then and there, I got my body lit up. I say it kind of lit up like a Christmas tree energetically when you're getting these messages in your body. And so I knew that was the issue. And I trusted. I was scared to be there. I wasn't sure, but I trusted. And I just said, hey, I said, I think this is going to be something that really important to you. I just got a little divine hit message. And I'm going to ask you to give that idea up. Are you willing to do it? And he goes, yes, because he was facing kind of a death sentence. So you have nothing to lose, people. And so he lived another 24 years past the 10 years he was given. And it's these kinds of things. Again, that's a big example, but I think that I was meant to do this. And I'm somebody that I've fallen in love with the divine. It always made me feel loved, connecting. I gave my life to Christ when I was 12. So, and everyone's on their own spiritual path and how that all comes out. Mine's going to be different than yours, but I felt it. I felt the connection. And it's the best feeling in the world. So you don't want to deny that. And so I was just somebody that I was willing to, like you said, stay on this journey. And now when I do energetic alignments, trust me, I'm trusting the divine here. So I just surrender. I'm not doing it. I'm just like, okay, let's see what's happening. And so I might do a little bit of a scan and I say, I'm sensing this. Is this something, you want to consider? And our bodies are energy centers, so it's all coming through. And it might take a little while, but I teach as I go. I know as you do too. So it's helping people get in touch with who they really are, this divine, beautiful being, and we're meant to be healthy. And sometimes the health issue might be something that's really part of your journey, that you can experience something so that you are more evolved. So I tell people, look, I'm not going to be in the way of your spiritual journey, but if I can help, oh, they'll give me something. And so I don't feel like I'm on the line for anything. It's just, I'm going to pay attention and give you my best. And then you need to stay centered and into those positive energies. If you're worried about something, oh, that's going to cause disease. And so I used to worry too. And now I just go, oh, I have to take that worry thing, little tape right out. So whatever little, I take the worry tape right out and throw it away. Whatever little goofy thing you do to keep yourself in those good, positive energies, that's what you need to do.
So many good things in there, Karoleen, so many good things. We could go so many different ways. I guess one of the things I would say to people as well is to try and reach for a higher thought, to shift that vibration within you. I find as well with people, when they identify with a diagnosis, it's harder to move that.
Yeah.
And sometimes there's just a little bit of wiggle room. Sometimes a whole thing can shift, right?
Yeah. And I love that because I think moving energy, which is what you're talking about, moving the thought energy, we don't have to know everything. Like when people tell me about specific things, I say, well, that's helpful, but I'm not really going medical here. There's nothing for me medically. It's helpful to know the area and you can focus energy on that. But this is higher energy than this is the higher frequency alignment that you and I are talking about. And we're so culturized to think, oh my God, you don't want to get this, you don't want to get that. I'm like, yeah, don't even think about it.
I do wonder how many illnesses or diseases are caused by commercials on TV.
Oh, and all the drug commercials that we now have, we're inundated. That I don't even think that was happening 10, 15 years ago, was it? Now it's all the time. So one of the things I know, I'm very pristine about my own energy and my own alignment because I don't like feeling bad. And bad things happen. It's not that I'm not a real person. It's just I'm like, how fast can if I'm having a bad moment or somebody said something that I didn't take well or whatever, I give myself 5 minutes and I allow myself to say whatever I want. And then I think, all right, that wasn't even that much fun. I'm not going to do that again. And I'll even do it with clients because they'll come to the call just really upset about something. I go, great. Let me get my timer. I'm giving you 2 minutes. Just say anything you want, all bad. And they start laughing. So they choose to not even do it because they see how ridiculous it is. And so I'm not saying you have to be perfect. And I can get mad about things, but don't get too mad and too long mad. Shorten it up and figure out a way to really have a beautiful day. So I'm very pristine on being responsible for my own energy. And that's why when I listen to clients and they'll say, well, this is my goal, but this is not happening, I can tell usually in about 5-10 minutes how well they are doing their own energy alignment. I can tell how well they manifest or not. They're manifesting, but are they manifesting what they really want? They say, oh, I want abundance, but then they're telling me the thesis of why nothing's working. And I say, oh, well, now we know.
We are always manifesting, always.
Yeah. Yeah. And if it's a negative thing, look out. I tell people, okay, remember, this is an electromagnetic system. This is a magnet. Each of you are this amazing magnet. So you have to realize that you're attracting whatever you're feeling. If you're upset, oh, the day is not going to go well. I mean, cut it off as fast as you can. And what do we do with babies? They're whimpering, they're crying. We pick them up, we pat their little back. Our job, if we're taking care of little ones, is to help them feel better as soon as we can. Take care of the problem. Are they hungry? Do they need their diaper change? But we're soothing. And so I look at people and I say, how great of a soother are you? And they go, I don't know what you're talking about. I say, how long do you let yourself go into the thesis of why life isn't working for you?
And they go and tell everyone.
Oh, yeah, 20 times. We've got to tell the story 20 times.
So those ruts get deeper and deeper into the neural pathways.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then the habits form. And so I don't get too upset with people for having their pity party. I just say, shorten it up. And
one person, I say, tell one person.
Yeah. 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 Keep your vehicle on the road. If you're driving and you go too far to the right, you're going to go off the road. If you go too far to the left, if you don't follow the signs, if you don't see that there's a stop sign there, oh. So I use driving a lot because it's something we all had to learn, right? And intuition and energy, we have to relearn, reconnect. It's your original language. So we have to relearn some things. So, read some books, take some courses, get yourself straight, and then keep yourself aligned on that road. Keep the car on the road.
Start paying attention, right? Start paying
Yes.
attention.
Yes.
Karoleen, it's been great fun having this chat with you today.
Thank you.
If people want to know more about your work, where can we send them?
You can go right to my website, KaroleenFober.com, Karoleen, Fober, Fober. You can go to Amazon and get my book, Opening to Divine Intervention. I would love for you to do the free intuition assessment. It's only 6 questions, but it's really going to teach you some things as well, right on my website.
Thank you for being my guest.
Thank you so much. I've loved it.
And thank you for listening to this week's edition of Exploring the Mystical Side of Life. You will find all of our conversations on YouTube and your favorite podcast platform. Come visit me at thoughtchange.com. Pick up your copy of Learning to Listen. It will help you hone those tools of intuition as well. We will see you again next time. Bye for now.